Going live. Where am I? Here I am, and I am live here to talk about the SmackDown live on Fox after WrestleMania. How's everybody doing tonight? I know over this past week I've picked up over 50 new subscribers. I was at 138 last Friday. I'm at 189 today, so I've picked up a lot of new followers, so I hope to see some of you guys in the stream tonight. But let's go ahead and get started talking about SmackDown tonight. Chat is open if anyone wants to talk about the show. Anyone has any comments or concerns or anything, let's get it all filtered through and let's all talk about SmackDown Live tonight. All right, let me just double check, make sure stream is going on YouTube. There we are. 4 likes already. Fuck yeah. But yeah, very good episode of SmackDown tonight. Man, I never have the thumbnails go through. I just noticed that. We'll see if this goes. But anyway, very good episode of SmackDown tonight that kicked off with Ronda Rousey, who I am very shocked is still in WWE. I thought after she lost to Charlotte on Saturday at WrestleMania, I thought she was done with the company. I thought it was just her goal to come back, have a big time match, right after having a baby. I didn't think she was going to come back at all, but, I was very, very shocked. So, that's cool. Glad she's sticking around. She had a promo and she said she wants to have a rematch with Charlotte Flair at Backlash. And she doesn't want any BS in this match. She wants it to be definitive. And the way she wants it to be definitive is she wants Charlotte to say, "I quit." Charlotte declines the challenge and tells Ronda to get in the back of the line, bitch. Ronda insists that the match will happen. Thing with I quit matches, they are kind of annoying. They're kind of like last man standing matches, where like the referee is constantly having to get down asking, "Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna quit?" Just like how he does the really slow count and all that. So I quit matches can be very annoying, but they can also be really good. The best example of an I quit match, there's 2. John Cena versus Randy Orton at Breaking Point 2009, I think. That match was awesome. And then Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso was really good from a heel's perspective. So those are 2 ways that I think they should maybe study those matches and kind of lay out a blueprint for them. But that's kind of just my opinion on that. But like I said, I am moderately, excited for this match. Just to, I don't know why I'm excited. I'm just curious. I kind of want to see how these 2 would do in an I Quit match. But other than that, that's probably that's a match to look forward to, I think, because I think they could pull it off, especially with both of them having a lot of submissions in their arsenal. It could be very good. This will be the first I Quit match in WWE since Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell 2020, and it will just be the 3rd I Quit match on the main roster since 2015, the other being John Cena versus Rusev at Payback 2015, right after WrestleMania 31. So pretty good opener to the show. It was kind of awkward just because Ronda with a live mic in front of a crowd is always kind of like, oh shit, what the hell is going to happen here? But pretty decent segment to start things off, so I was very happy that it didn't suck, basically. 190 subscribers. Hell, we've already picked up a new subscriber since the stream started. Fuck yeah, thank you guys. Hell, I'd be so freaking happy if we hit 200 tonight. That'd be awesome if we hit 200 on a stream tonight. Alright, what was after that? Sorry, I got distracted. Let me go ahead and delete that section. Xavier Woods versus Butch. Oh, fuck, this was stupid. Sheamus and Holland were backstage talking to Butch like he was a dog. Like, they're backstage, they're in the gorilla position. They're like, "Are you ready, boy? Are you ready? Are you ready to go out there, boy? Come on, boy, let's go down the aisle. Let's go, boy. Come on, come on, come on. Are you ready? Go get him, boy." That's basically what they were like in the backstage area, and then Butch is just standing there doing his... This is what Butch looked like the whole time while he's backstage. He looked fucking ridiculous. He still has the freaking... oh, God, what... I just saw it earlier on Jeopardy, and I can't remember what the freaking movie is called, but the "Please, sir, may I have some more?" That's what he looked like backstage. That's what his outfit looks like, you know. He just looks like Oliver Twist. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's what Pete Dunne, Butch looks like backstage. I am so freaking sick and tired of seeing any combination of these two teams against each other. You know, the New Day have been around for so long, and I love them to death. The New Day is freaking awesome. But without Big E and just Woods and Kofi by themselves, I just don't care, you know? Like, especially if they're going to be put in a repetitive feud like this, I do not freaking care. I think it'd be fine if they took them off TV for a while. You know, it's not worth it. And I don't advocate for people not being on TV ever, you know, because whenever you're off TV, that's when you get fired, basically. Like, look at all the releases. Most of the time when people are in releases, or at least the first couple of releases, it was people that were never on TV, you know. So, but the New Day is always going to be over, you know. There's more than likely top 3 best tag team in WWE ever. So anytime they come out, they're always going to be over, you know. Them not being on TV is not going to hurt them. And like I said, unless they're going to face someone new, like if they're going to face Gunther and Ludwig, the team that debuted right after this, I'll talk about that here in a few seconds. Unless they're going to face them and put them over, I don't want to see the New Day, because I don't want to see another match with Holland, Sheamus, or Butch, because this was terrible. So New Day comes out, they're cutting a promo. Woods actually reveals he's never won at WrestleMania, which is shocking, but then again, it's not, because they lost at 32, they hosted 33, they lost to the Bludgeon Brothers at 34, 35 was Kofi Mania. I don't remember what they did at 36. They lost last year at 37, and then they lost this year at 38. So yeah, actually, I just guess I've never thought about it, but yeah, so Xavier Woods has never won at WrestleMania, which sucks for him, but it'll be a good story whenever they do win. You know, they could build a story about that next WrestleMania, you know, if the New Day are in a position, if they're going for the tag team championships, or, you know, if WWE doesn't do another King of the Ring this year, he could still be King Woods. And, well, actually, they've dropped that gimmick completely, kind of, haven't they? But he could defend the crown at next year's WrestleMania, you know, just to give him a win. Kofi and Woods talk about how it's the season premiere of WWE, basically, because WrestleMania is the season finale, and they say the win-loss records reset, which was fucking stupid, because win-loss records don't exist in WWE. I don't know if it was their way of, like, trying to be like AEW or knock AEW, but this was so fucking stupid, them talking about win-loss records, so it means our loss never happened. It's still on TV. We all saw it, that loss happen. This just made the New Day look annoying and stupid, because we know wins and losses don't matter in WWE. It's been very well established when Jinder Mahal is getting a Intercontinental Championship match next week on SmackDown. Yeah, this promo was stupid. This match was fucking stupid. It started off with Butch dominating Woods. He was throwing him around everywhere. Then Woods hits a beautiful tilt-a-whirl DDT, and the show goes to a commercial after that, and then not much happens after a commercial. Butch got busted open on the bridge of his nose. Make sure it's nothing in the chat real quick. Alright, just double checking on something. Butch gets busted open on the bridge of his nose, which looked cool. The match ends with Xavier Woods hitting a small package roll-up for the win. Terrible debut for Butch, but it was predictable since Sheamus and Holland won at WrestleMania. This shouldn't have happened. These two teams should not be feuding. The end of it should have been at WrestleMania. Unless they're going to put these two in something interesting, like a tag team tables match or something, I don't ever want to fucking see them in matches again. Butch throws a tantrum after the match and starts hitting his teammates. Dumb freaking ending, and the worst thing is that it's going to continue. So that was Xavier Woods versus Butch. Happy days are here again. Sami Zayn was up next. They show a highlight reel of the WrestleMania match, which was incredible. I was there live. I didn't have any footage of the match. My girlfriend actually has more footage of it on her phone than I do. But, the table with the mousetraps, the giant mousetrap, the leg dick kicker, and what else did they have? Wee Man slamming Sami Zayn. That match was incredible. You can say it was goofy and all that, but it was probably my favorite match. It was actually probably my second favorite match on night 2 because the Raw Tag Team Championship match was really fucking good. But yeah, that match was incredible. I didn't expect it to be as awesome as it was, but I was pleasantly surprised. Sami Zayn's backstage bitching to Adam Pearce about all the interference in his match by the crew of Jackass. He says he's being harassed with cheese, which was funny because the show was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So when the crowd started booing, I'm like, man, they're really playing along with the cheese thing. But then I saw that they were in Wisconsin, which makes sense. By the way, Wisconsin smells like cheese. He says he wants a match with the next person that walks out of the SmackDown locker room. It's Drew McIntyre. If these two are given time, it would be incredible, but as you'll see later on, they were not. Pearce is handed a note. I could not understand what Adam Pearce said. I don't know who the note was from or anything. Actually, we can do some Twitter research live on the show real quick and see if anyone understood what Adam Pearce said, because he kind of mumbled it. I don't know what the note said. Let's see. Adam Pearce note. Yeah, let's do some live Twitter research. Oh, it doesn't even say who was. Says it was a mystery woman. So maybe it was Bailey or Asuka. That's probably who will end up being if this turned into like a reoccurring thing where he's getting like mystery notes and all that. That could be a possibility that it could end up being Bailey or Sasha. Who knows? Or not Sasha, Asuka. But yeah, there's our live Twitter investigation. Alright, what was next after this? Imperium makes their debut. Walter, aka known as Gunther, and Marcel Bartel, whose new name is Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know if I have any Yu-Gi-Oh fans watching, but Hell Kaiser, Zane in the English version, but whenever he became the underground duelist, he was called a Hell Kaiser, and that name was fucking awesome. And now I think about it, that would have been a cooler name than Ludwig for Marcel Bartel. Commercial airs after they start to make their entrance. Cody Rhodes versus The Miz is set for Monday on Raw. Gunther crushes some jobber. If you watched Walter wrestle before, it wasn't anything new. Damn, I do feel like they're going to die a death on the main roster. At least the crowd started to chant Gunther or Walter. I thought I heard Walter. Everyone else was saying Gunther, but I thought I heard Walter. Maybe it's what I wanted to hear, but unless he was going to be like immediately thrusted into the main event scene where he could be made a star, I really just don't see anything good for Walter on the main roster. Raquel Gonzalez makes her SmackDown debut with an interview backstage, This is what happens when I try to read off notes. I read the same thing twice. With a backstage interview with Kayla Braxton. She is now known as Raquel Rodriguez, which I saw a lot of people bitching about. I mean, it's not like they named her Ludwig, Like, she's still got the Raquel part, and Rodriguez isn't a bad last name. If anything, it's probably better for branding because they can do R and R, stuff like that. It's probably better branding for her than Gonzalez. I know Gonzalez is her real last name. I don't know if Raquel is her real name or her real first name, but it's because WWE wants to trademark it and have it be their intellectual property. if she ever gets released, which is probably not a good sign for her if they're already thinking about if she gets released. But I think it'll be better branding for her, like I said, with the R&R. Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo flirt with her. She says not a chance to them, and they go away. I'm 50-50 on how Raquel Gonzalez will be on the main roster. It seems like women from NXT do a lot better than the men on the main roster, which is a good sign. You know, you look at Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, the Four Horsewomen, Asuka. I mean, they were all in NXT at one point, and they're all big stars. So I have more faith that Raquel Gonzalez will be better on the main roster than Imperium or hell, even Braun Breaker, which I know he's not main roster, you know, he's still NXT champion. But now the loss on Tuesday makes sense that Raquel lost, you know, her and Dakota Kai lost the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. No Dakota Kai, though, which makes me think maybe she's destined for Raw soon, or maybe they just don't see anything in her for the main roster, because, you know, she had some dark matches a few months ago, which means she was probably getting looked at by Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, and maybe they don't see anything in her, and maybe she's going to be sticking around in NXT for a while, which sucks, but, you know, that's the only reason I could think why she wasn't called up with Raquel, because, I mean, God, they need more women's tag teams. You know, someone's got to face Sasha and Naomi after Liv and Rhea, because Carmella and Zelina are broken up now, and I mean, you have Shayna Baszler and Natalya, but that's the cure for insomnia right there, is Shayna Baszler and Natalya together. So, I don't know, maybe Dakota Kai will be up there soon, but if she didn't debut tonight, I don't think she's gonna anytime soon. What's up to the people watching? How y'all doing? Alright, happy talk. I'm gonna skim through this because I can't stand to hear Corbin and Moss talk, but maybe after this I will. Corbin blames his loss at WrestleMania on Madcap Moss. Crowd starts chanting for Moss. Moss starts to tell a joke that sucked. I don't even remember it. He tells another one about Adam Pearce running a brothel, which was better. I think he said, what do you call Adam Pearce running a brothel? Madam Pearce, which, like I said, was better, and that was actually pretty funny. Corbin demands to be told a funny joke or else Moss is fired. Moss then says, what do you call a guy that treats his friends like garbage? You call him Happy Corbin. That's paraphrasing. He said some other shit in there, but basically that's the gist of it. Corbin starts to beat up Moss. This turned Madcap into a huge babyface whenever he started fighting back on Corbin. I mean, the crowd was really behind him. These two started fighting at ringside, starting to hit each other onto the announce table. Madcap stops Corbin's hat as Corbin runs away from him as the segment ends. If these two are put in a stipulation match, like a street fight or, you know, no holds barred, basically, even like like if they put Corbin's hat, like made it a ladder match or something, these two would have a really great match. Them in a normal match, not interested. But Corbin is really great in either multi-man matches or like street fight matches. Like, you know, everyone's probably seen that match with him, Dolph Ziggler, and AJ Styles. That match was incredible, you know. But another really, really great match, since we're talking about a SmackDown after WrestleMania, his match with Dean Ambrose, SmackDown after WrestleMania 33. So I think that's 2017? Maybe 2018, maybe. Look it up. That match is absolutely insane. Corbin's really great in street fights, so if they put them in a match like that at Backlash, it'll get both of them over. God damn, it's windy outside. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but my freaking window's being beat with wind right now. Hell, tornado season's right around the corner here. Alright, Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. This was short, so Sami Zayn rolls out of the ring twice to start things off. Drew fetches him and starts kicking his ass at the ringside area. They roll back into the ring. McIntyre probably has the best belly suplex in wrestling. Every time he hits it on somebody, it looks impactful. Sammy goes in the crowd, runs away from Drew. This was a squash match, basically. Drew McIntyre probably took he delivered 90% of the offense in this match. So it was pretty there, I guess. It wasn't anything spectacular. Kind of made Sami Zayn look like a bitch, but that's kind of his character. They have a rematch set next week for SmackDown. If the thing is, if Zayn runs away from McIntyre this week in a match, what's going to stop him next week? I wish they would have made the match next week like a steel cage match, because a steel cage match always does pretty good for like ratings. It draws interest. It's just something they could advertise next week for SmackDown and have it build all week. Like whenever they announce steel cage matches, seems like they announce them the day of. It's like you get to the arena, you see a cage hanging above the ring. Oh, I guess we're gonna have a steel cage match tonight. I don't know how hard they are to build or travel with, but fuck, they used to do steel cage matches all the time on house shows, so I don't see why they couldn't do it. Every couple months on TV. It's a shitty stipulation for a pay-per-view, but it's a good stipulation for Raw and SmackDown. So they should make that match next week a steel cage match, unless they're gonna have Sami Zayn run away from him next week and then make it a steel cage match for the pay-per-view. Video package for Pat McAfee's match at WrestleMania plays. I'm not going to talk about it because, it happened almost a week ago. If you haven't seen it already, go look it up. I'm not going to review a video package. I am going to review a video package for Lacey Evans, though. Lacey Evans, she's coming back. She's going to be on SmackDown. This package went into her backstory, which I had no idea about. I'll be honest, I've never listened to a Lacey Evans interview. The only thing I know about her before wrestling is that she was a Marine. That's about the only thing I know about Lacey Evans, is that she was a Marine, and she helped teach some of the Performance Center classes. Those are about the only two things I know. But this video package was very emotional. It talked about her dad and how he had mental issues, and then that those mental issues were made worse by him being addicted to drugs and alcohol, which led to her mom taking her and her 4 other siblings and leaving her dad. And then there was a lot. She kind of talked fast throughout this promo, which I'm pretty sure it was probably hard for her to talk about. So she was talking fast, so it was kind of hard to write down notes for. But if they're going to continue playing video packages like this, if they're going to go more into her backstory, like hell, if next week's is going to talk about being her being in the army, and then like maybe the one after that is her being a mom, and then she has her debut, she's going to be mega over. She's going to be an enormous babyface. And then, if Ronda wins the title at Backlash, I'm pretty sure people are going to be, rooting for Lacey Evans to beat Ronda Rousey, which would be pretty good for Lacey because it would help establish her. Like it kind of be dumb, even though I kind of want to see this match really bad. Like if Bayley came back and beat Ronda, I think whoever beats Ronda needs to be someone that's never won a title before, because I think it's going to really put them over. One really big thing about this video package is that Lacey wasn't dressed up as the sassy Southern Belle, and she wasn't talking with a shitty Southern accent. She was just herself, which is real, is what is the best. The gimmicks and all that and the characters, nothing's ever gonna top someone going out there and being them real selves. Look at Stone Cold, the most over person in the history of wrestling, and then look at Stone Cold in real life. They're about the same person. So I think if Lacey Evans is going to come back and she's going to be real, it's going to be great. All right, what was up after that? Sorry. Just making sure everything's going good. All right. Oh, man, I can't wait to talk about this. Sasha Banks versus Liv Morgan. Hell, we're almost done with the show, actually. Alright, sorry. Just checking because I had a text. Sasha Banks versus Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley is not accompanying Liv to this match. Man, I think in the future, Liv and Sasha is going to be a big-time match because these two women have the most loyal fan bases in all of wrestling. You know, go on Twitter right now, just type in WWE, scroll down through some of the stuff because a lot of it's going to be from real people, but look at like WWE fan accounts. The biggest fan account you're probably going to have is Sasha Banks, and number 2 is probably going to be Liv Morgan. Online, on Twitter, these are the 2 most loved women, and then third would probably be the Bella Twins or Becky Lynch. But they're 1 and 2, and with how big of a following they have, actually, the crowd was really invested in this match, and if this match is built at a pay-per-view, you're going to really have a crowd invested in it because of the fan bases of these 2 women. This match started off really hot, but then it got killed with a commercial. Like, started off with some great offense, and then boom, commercial, which kind of killed the momentum. Natalya and Shayna Baszler are watching backstage. Who gives a shit? These 2 exchange rollouts, which was very cool. Or roll-ups, excuse me. Like, it started off like Sasha's on top of Liv, and Liv uses her body weight to pin Sasha's shoulders, and they kind of just do that back and forth, exchanging body weight. You've seen it a lot of times, especially in Liv and Becky matches, but it was very cool to see. Liv had an awesome counter out of the jackknife cover, where you flip and your shoulders are meeting their shoulders to pin her down. Liv uses her core to get herself up. I mean, this was very, very cool. These 2 had awesome counters. These 2 were hitting the living shit out of each other. The crowd got very invested into this match, One way to tell if a match is going good in WWE is if the crowd's on their feet, It's one thing if they're making noise. It's another thing if they're on their feet, and they were on their feet for this match until... Here's another thing. If you've never been to a WWE show, you get on your feet, you have these fucking assholes, which, I mean, they're just doing their job. They're instructed to do this, but if the match is good, they're telling you, oh, sit down, and it's for people that aren't standing so they can see, mainly like kids and stuff. But here's my thing. Most of the time, the kids are standing too. The people that are sitting are girls that are there with their boyfriends, or, people who maybe they don't give a shit about who's wrestling, Most of the time, the people standing are the hardcore wrestling fans, so I don't get why they shame you if you're standing. But then you see it like in some matches where everyone's standing and you ain't gonna get everyone down, They start exchanging knees, which was very brutal and very cool to see. And then they start exchanging knees into the corners, and Liv Morgan gets placed onto the top turnbuckle. Sasha Banks is up there. She's going to do a superplex, and she hits that superplex, but when they get down, Sasha kind of kicks her legs up like she's going to roll into a Falcon Arrow like Seth Rollins does. As she does that, Liv grabs her legs, holds them down, and pins her with Liv's shoulders on top of Sasha's, and Liv Morgan gets the win over Sasha Banks. I mean, the matches with Becky were probably Liv's biggest matches of her career, but this was her biggest win. I mean, this was very good. Now, they're probably going to ruin it on Monday by having her take the pin when they lose, but I mean, this was very, very good. This match was excellent, actually. It wasn't like a work rate match, didn't have a bunch of really crazy moves. It didn't go 20 minutes. It didn't have all this shit. But for its purpose, which was to get Liv Morgan over into the tag title match on Monday, this match was a great showcase for Liv Morgan's offense, and this match was, like I said, excellent. Anybody in the chat got any thoughts about Sasha and Liv Morgan? Like I said, I know these two women have probably the biggest fan base on the internet. So if anyone has any thoughts about this match, speak now or forever hold your peace. What did y'all think about the show? Just to get the chat going, I'll go first. But main event time. Fuck, we are already at the main event. I mean, a lot happened on SmackDown, but hell, we're 30 minutes into this review, and I'm already at the main event. But that's kind of how it goes with these reviews, especially SmackDown. It's only 2 hours less to review. If this was Raw, I mean, it probably would have been way longer, So, yeah, here, let me pull up my main event notes. Roman Reigns makes his entrance at 8:42, which was kind of surprising, but then you remember his entrance is an hour long. Roman says being Universal Champion wasn't enough. He had to be WWE Champion too. He says there isn't much more he can do, but there's more for the bloodline, for them to do, for the Usos to do. And he wants the Usos to be elevated, because that's what he's been trying to do the whole time. They've all been paired together. He's been trying to elevate the Usos and make them better. And he says the next way that they can elevate themselves is by winning the Raw Tag Team Championships. And he's telling them, you're going to go to Raw this Monday and you're going to win the Tag Team Championships on Raw and you're going to bring them back to me. And the Bloodline is going to hold all the gold. The Usos agree with him, so it looks like we're going to see them on Monday. Which, like I said, already advertised for Raw on Monday is Cody Rhodes versus The Miz. I think Veer versus Rey Mysterio. And looks like now the Usos. Let's see. Roman Reigns says the Bloodline's going to have all the gold soon. And then after he says that, Shinsuke Nakamura's music hits. And Milwaukee, Wisconsin went insane for this. They were singing his theme song. I don't think the camera cut to Pat McAfee dancing. Maybe they did, and I was just writing down notes and stuff. But, yeah, Pat McAfee, he was talking about, we miss you, Boogs, and all that. So, Roman Reigns pulls the mic down from Nakamura before he can say anything. He tries to give Nakamura some bloodline love because they know what it's like to lose their partner and to not have their partner by their side. So, it was kind of goofy for a second just because, like I said, Roman actually gave Nakamura a hug and all that and said, like, it's all right, bro, and all that. But then the Usos super kicked him and the show ended. So if we're going to have Roman Reigns versus Nakamura at Backlash, I don't know if it'd just be for the Universal Championship or if it'd be for both belts. But Nakamura versus Reigns is a match I've really wanted to see for a long time. And I know they had a match at Tribute to the Troops this past year, but those matches are house show matches, I don't think they've ever actually had a proper match. Let's see, I'm looking on here, and it looks like they had a match October 18th of 2020. Or actually, I think that's when it was uploaded. This was October 18th of 2019, actually. So 2.5 years ago, and then they had a match earlier at Tribute to the Troops earlier this year. So, like I said, they haven't really had a proper match, so I would be super excited to see them wrestle. And if that's going to be the pay-per-view match, I'd be very happy to see that. But yeah, that was SmackDown. Pretty good show. Way better than Raw. Raw was fucking boring, Raw was filled with promos and little shitty matches, Nothing really happened on Raw. The best match was probably the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy. SmackDown was way better, but SmackDown's usually an easier watch because it's an hour shorter, and it doesn't seem like there is as many commercial breaks. There's a shitload of commercial breaks, don't get me wrong, but I think the show was way better than its counterpart on Monday. Here's the thing, though. I hope the Usos don't win. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't mind if the Usos win the Raw Tag Team Championships, but only if they're going to drop the SmackDown Tag Team Championships right after. Because I know a lot of people don't like the brand split, but watch any SmackDown between like 2012 to 2016. The shows were worthless. They were fucking stupid. They were rematches from Raw. There was no purpose in watching the show at all. The only cool thing about it was like the separate announced teams. That was about the only cool thing about SmackDown. And, it was pre-taped. There was nothing to give a shit about SmackDown. With the brand split, there is something to give a crap about. You had the separate titles, the 2 women's titles, 2 tag team, the Intercontinental, the World Championships, And let me say this. If it wasn't for the brand split, they would not have gotten $1 billion from Fox. And from what I've read, the Fox and USA executives like the brand split. They like each brand being unique. And we've seen a lot of bleed over between Raw and SmackDown. I mean, hell, we saw Liv wrestling on SmackDown tonight. We saw a shitload of SmackDown superstars on Raw this past week and the week before. And then, a whole bunch of Raw guys on SmackDown for the Battle Royal. But WrestleMania season, it's alright to kind of suspend that. But if they're ending the brand split, they're going to kill SmackDown and they're going to kill their next TV deal. And they're not going to get $1 billion from Fox to renew. They might get good money from USA because Raw is always going to be the baby. But if they kill the brand split, they're going to kill SmackDown and they're going to kill a shitload of money. And when they aren't going to get that money, they're not going to get, their stock price is going to tumble and all that. I mean, the repercussions of them ending the brand split is going to fuck over WWE royally. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that, but really think about it. If they end the brand split, it's going to fuck up their bottom line. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, I could make a full video about it. And, if anyone wants to debate me in the chat about it, you're more than welcome to. But, I mean, I kind of got facts to prove it, So, hopefully they don't end the brand split. I'm okay if the Usos win the Raw Tag Team Championship. Gotta keep fucking stuttering, sorry. I'm okay if they win the belts, but only if it's for like a short-term story, Let's go ahead and check wrestling news sites real quick to see if there's any late breaking news. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I said, next week on SmackDown, we're going to have Jinder Mahal versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship because wins and losses matter, according to the New Day. A rematch of Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. And I thought there was one more thing advertised, but actually that might have been it. So yeah, that's what's advertised next week for SmackDown. Who knows if I'll do a review. I wasn't going to do a review tonight until I read the spoilers from Fightful, and I was like, oh, actually tonight's show looks really good, especially when I saw Ronda Rousey was going to be on. So I was like, maybe I will watch it tonight and do a live review. So yeah, that's how we got a live review tonight. Plus, I wanted to come on here and thank y'all for the growth on the channel. I don't know how many people are watching right now that are subscribed to me, but I'm at 190 subscribers right now. I was at 138 just a week ago, so almost 60 subscribers grown. My Raw review on Monday did 343 views, which is actually pretty good for my Raw review compared to the one I did before that did 73 views. So, I mean, maybe it's because I put Cody Rhodes in the title because that seems to draw, And I know a lot of those subscribers came from the entrance videos I did, but, I mean, hell, you gotta do what you gotta do to make your channel grow. And if I just gotta post videos of entrances, I will, I'm not gonna go to every WWE show imaginable, but if I draw on some subscribers here and then they start watching my reviews and stuff and my other stuff, it's a success to me. But, you know, the entrance videos, I just realized I spelled Bobby Lashley's WrestleMania entrance wrong. I put Weasel Mania. I need to fix that. But, I mean, hell, even then, that video still did 3,000 views. AJ Styles, 5.4 million, or 5.4 thousand views. Pat McAfee, 2.2 thousand. Becky Lynch, 5.2 thousand. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boog's entrance, 2.1 thousand. Cody Rhodes, 2.3 thousand. So, I mean, thank you all for the love on those videos. I mean, it wasn't any effort on my part. You know, I just held my phone up, but, I mean, hell, it brought more watch hours to the channel, which is a good thing, and it brought a shitload of subscribers, which is, you know, always a good thing, and, you know, it's more people joining on the bandwagon, so thank you guys. I appreciate all that. Like I said, we're growing pretty fast. I mean, I hit 100 in December. Actually, no, I hit 100 in, like, January. Actually, I can't remember, but it was, when it was snowing outside, which actually might have been, streamed 2 months ago, because that's the review that I hit 100 subscribers on. So, you know, thank you guys. Hopefully by the next time I stream, we'll be at 200. I don't know what all I'm going to have throughout the week. You know, it's kind of a dead period right now. There's no pay-per-views coming up. Maybe some crazy-ass wrestling news breaks. I'll go on here and talk about that. You know, I'm still a little broke from Dallas, so I still haven't got an Elgato capture card yet, but whenever I do, I might have some streams of MLB The Show on here, because I've been playing the fuck out of that game since it came out the other day, and that game is awesome. And, you know, I've still been playing WWE 2K22, so, I mean, there's a lot of content out there for you guys that is coming up, you know. But don't know what I'm going to do on Monday. Maybe live for Raw. Depends what's going to be on there. I'm not really that interested in watching Cody Rhodes and The Miz, but I said if there's something interesting, I may do a review of it. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a good night. I said thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to anyone that watched this review, made it all the way to the end. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see you next time.